Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I am your host, Josiah, aka Mahler67, and with me, as always, you know I got my buddy, I got my pal, I got my brother Austin. Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain too much. Just been spending the day. Oop, forgot to turn that on. Been spending the day playing Final Fantasy X again. Watching. So the reason that I'm playing 10 again is because recently there's a famous streamer named Sea Dog VA who is friends with Iron Mouse. So like those two are pretty good friends, and they're uploading his playthrough, his first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy X with Iron Mouse. And just re-watching someone who's never played it before playing it got me in the mood. I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'll just jump back onto that for a while and play along effectively. And so I've just been playing it again and pushing it forward and enjoying it, honestly. Really like brings up like nostalgia. I'm playing with the into like the Steam version of it, and so I'm not using the normal sphere grid. I'm using the expert sphere grid, which I haven't used before, and it's basically like everything is in different places. Like every character still has their area that's like their area, I guess you would say, like, you know how the original one was. But there's not a lot of lock spheres on the grid anymore, and the ones that are in there are locking like the super high power things, and you can very randomly at any time you want just veer off into someone else's area if you choose. Like I took Titus down Orin's path for a little bit and then moved him back. I took Yuna down Lulu's path to get spells, then took her back. And like Kimahri's just he's Kimahri. A lot of people don't know how to use him. Like the guy named Connor is the streamer guy. He doesn't upgrade Kimahri because he doesn't know what Kimahri is or how to build him. Because like everyone was explaining, it's like you just get spheres. Like it's not a big like, how do I build this character? How do I build this character? Until you understand what the sphere grid is. And I the best way I can describe it is it's like a petal, like a flower petal. And each petal is locked behind sphere grids, and each player has their own petal. Kimahri isn't a petal. He's the center of the flower. Like he's where the pollen is. And so he very quickly fills out that area, and then you get to decide which petal to go down. You can take him down and be similar to Titus, to Orin, to Lulu, to the, like, he is a open book for you to decide. He doesn't get that yet, and so he's just not leveling up, and he has like 17 levels of sphere grid, and he's like, he kind of sucks. And it's like, because you're not upgrading him. You're just leaving him to dry. And it's kind of funny, like, to have him like watching it and everything, him like learning things as he goes. Like he just the part I'm at, they finished the game, but the part where I'm at is they just finished Operation the Mihan High Road one, Operation, well, what was the operation called? But it's the one where they try to get Sin, like Operation Sin Spawn or whatever, where all the Sin spawns go. Seymour's watching over them, and it massacres everyone. And he convinced Lasu to stay, and then Lasu gets killed, and he finds Gatu, and Gatu's like, you found him, he was ripped in half. He's like, oh my god, I would have convinced him to stay if I knew that was going to happen. And so it's really entertaining to watch him play, because he's like catching on to things, and like he sounds like he's realizing what's happening already, but he doesn't understand the context of stuff. So it's entertaining. I'm enjoying the watch. It's very similar to how I felt like as a kid playing the game and then watching you play it after the fact. And granted, you were a lot more like
Didn't care.
yeah, you were like, you weren't really like, playing for the story. You were joking a lot. Yeah. And I was like, that's fine. Like everyone plays their game differently. I just don't play these games like that, because these games are basically movies. And that's what he actually said. He's like, it's crazy. He was playing for like 15 hours the first stream. He's like, I don't feel like I'm playing a game. I feel like I'm watching a in-depth movie, because that's like the start of them doing voiceovers and everything. So anyways, it was all fun. I enjoyed it. My cat was in my arms, and she just heard her food bowl go off, and she got up, but she's not going to get any because she hasn't been eating as much. And so there's food in there already, so she just got up to get excited over the prospect of more food, but then she's like, I'm not hungry. But Austin, how was your day, man? Like, what have you been doing this weekend?
Oh man, it's just been really busy this weekend. So my wife's family's friend came down for the weekend, and we got to hang out with them for a while, talked about movies and a whole bunch of stuff. And then today we just had, we do like the normal stuff like groceries and all that other stuff. We pick those up. But like one of the things we decided to do was like try to make our own homemade Connect Sand. I don't know if you've ever played with Connect Sand.
I know what Connect Sands is. Yeah.
So we tried to make it, and I'm pretty sure that the sand that we got was wet already. So when we mixed everything together, it just didn't dry. So now it's like a paste and stuff, and then some of it's like clumpy, and we tried to put flour in it, and just like my hands are all blue and stuff because we were trying to color like the sand, and it was just it just got so we've been doing that, and then watching like all the reveals for Epic Universe for Universal. Me and her's been like seeing all that cool stuff, like with How to Train Your Dragon Land and Frankenstein's Experiment and all that cool stuff.
Forgot you all are park fiends. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, she's super stoked. Like after I took her to Universal like last time, she actually enjoyed herself because she got to go with someone that knew the park very well. Like I know Universal very well because it's my favorite park. And so like, the last ride I took her on was Mummy, because that's like my favorite ride of all time. And I was like, oh dude, she's gonna love it. And like afterwards she was like, this was awesome, but I was scared a little bit because it like scared me, and I was like, we should watch the movies. And then she's like, are they scary? And I was like, yeah, maybe just a tad for you.
They're scary in the form of like 80s movie scary. Like it's like you watch it and you're like, this is kind of corny. Like I don't know if it's scary as much as it's corny.
That, and I watched Minecraft movie this weekend.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
So here's the thing, like you're gonna have those diehards that are like, oh my gosh, they ruined it, but the movie is made for kids. I knew it was going in when I saw the trailer. I was like, yeah, the movie's made for kids.
I don't even care like about like the age group it's intended for or whatnot. I just really want to know, like, could you sit watching through it? Like,
oh yeah, it was totally worth it. It was just a goofy movie that I enjoyed. I was like, yeah, this is fun. This is fine.
Now here's the question: are you ever going to watch it again, or if like, do you see this as a movie that you would only ever watch with a kid, like because the kid wants to watch it, or is this going to be a movie kind of like the Lego movie where it's popular because of what it is, and then it kind of people stop caring about it after a bit?
I think what's great about this movie is I think the fans of Minecraft that are just like, fans, and they're not too critical on movies, like, because, you got Jack Black and Jason Momoa. I think it's just a good watch. Like it's fun, and the Minecraft people are going to like it. I think they'll enjoy it. There was a lot of like cameos. And the one cameo that got me was like they did a cameo for like Technoblade, and it was so well done, and I was like, it was just a subtle little cameo, but it was like powerful enough, and like when it came on, I was like, oh no, I was like, yeah, Technoblade. So and I like I've seen memes about it because like that Shallow Buff meme where he's watching a movie and then he's crying, like he like laughs and cries, and it's like Techno's dad, like when he goes to watch the Minecraft movie and then he sees the cameo, and it's like, oh man, it's really well done. They had like a lot of cool different, like it had everything in the Minecraft world. It was it was enjoyable. I will say that. Is it something I'll rewatch? Yeah, I'd probably rewatch it just for a fun watch, but it's not like it's a bad movie. Like it's just a fun little movie. Like it's just fun.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like
that's
mind blowing.
That's reasonable. I think a lot of times whenever people ask like, is the movie good or anything like that, and you win instantly, like it's not meant for like certain people and whatever. I'm like, I get that 100% because that's how I feel about a lot of the things I'm into. The only thing I care about is like, I'm looking at your perspective. Like, do you like it? Would you watch it again? Like, those are the things I want to know. Because like, I'll be honest, like a lot of the movies that I watched that I'm like, it was a good movie. But then like, whenever I sit and think about it, I'm like, I'm only ever going to watch this again if someone else wants to watch it. Like, it's not that it's bad. It's just, I have no interest to rewatch it. Unless someone else does. Like if a kid walks up to me and is just like, hey, you want to watch the Minecraft movie with me? I'll be like, yeah, sure, I have no issue with that, let's do it. Like it's that's why I asked. I knew like a lot of the fans of the show, a lot of fans of the series was very like whenever they kind of like isekai'd the main characters in effectively, or isekai, whatever it's called. And I'm like, I get that because like people find that kind of but I'm not too critical personally. I just thought I would ask, so I appreciate you telling and vibing that.
Yeah, like it's worth it. Like I think it's worth a watch. Like I think if you're ever played Minecraft, it's worth a watch. Like they did exactly what it's going to do, and that movie's gonna make so much money because kids love Minecraft still. Like there's like a lot
of people like Minecraft still,
and the kids,
it's a great sandbox.
The difference between us is like we'll watch it maybe once or twice, but a kid will watch it like 10 to 15 times sometimes, or even more. You know, it's like a constant like, I really love this movie. And I think that's where it's going, because they kind of like let it up at the end, like, hey, we're gonna make another, which I totally knew that was coming. You know, it's just part of that. Like if that's gonna make money with the kiddos, they're gonna do it. So
100%.
You know, I'm okay with it. Like I was okay. Like I was like, hey, you know, fun little watch. And best part, I didn't have to pay for it. So I didn't
there you go.
So you know, free movie. But overall, you know, I had fun. So
it sounds good, man. I think that's great. Great seg. Good way to talk about another game is to go into not really a movie game, but a show game, and a game that isn't actually real. Austin, this week we're watching Mythic Quest Season 2. Austin, what'd you think of Mythic Quest Season 2? Well, hey, Jake Quiz is here. Hey,
I should be asking you that actually. What did you think of Mythic Quest Season 2? Because I made you watch Mythic Quest.
Yeah, well, Austin, one of us takes the lead, and that's what ends up happening.
I know, but so like, I don't know. I was gonna say I do like this season a lot more than season 1. The characters get a little bit more like there's a lot more to it, in my opinion. So you know, I'm not like. I don't know. I think the setup's pretty well, and I liked what was it? I always forget his name, but it's the older character. He has like a small name. It's CW.
Yeah, CW.
Longbottom. I thought his storyline through this season was really well done. Because the episode Big Head was in the season. It was so fun.
It was funny whenever he first showed up. I was like, I recognize this person from something.
Yep.
And I started looking him up, and I'm like, I don't know what I recognize him from. And like the number one was like Silicon Valley Big Head. I'm like, I know I watched that, but is that what I recognize this person from? And I couldn't peg it if there was something else that I watched him from. So I just accepted. I'm like, it must have been from Mythic Quest, from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
But no, it's a weird thing. So for me, I definitely like season 2 better than season 1. Season 2 was an improvement, mainly because I think they toned down the, oh no, our gimmick of our show is that we work in a game studio. Like in the first season, like every episode was like, this new thing for this game is necessary, this new thing for this game thing is necessary. And it's like, we just released Raven Quest. Oh no, there's Nazis in our game. Oh no, there's this in the game. Oh no, we need to put this in the game. And this one is like, we're working on an expansion.
Yeah.
And it's like a sitcom in a game studio versus a game story, like a game studio with complete jerkbags running the scene. The only character in this season that I found unbearable to me was Joe. I really hate that character. I really hate that character, man. Like
everyone, he's just annoying.
No, she is a trap. Like this whole season with her like leaving what's his face and then going with David. Brad. Yeah, I think she left David for Brad. It was something like that.
Yeah.
And then her being like, I'm a shark, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, when you have to say something like that, you're not. Like, the one issue I find with this show that I find very annoying is that this is like, I think they're purposely trying to point fun at it. Like, the concept of, like, being an alpha or, like, a wolf. Yeah. Or like someone being a beta and stuff like that. I think they're putting fun at it, right? But everyone takes it seriously in the show, and it just comes off as like their characters actually believe it, and it's kind of like it doesn't make it funny to me. It's like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where like the cast is always just a bunch of pieces of trash, and like people outside of the group acknowledges it, but their group never acknowledges that they sometime are pieces of trash. And that causes you to think like maybe they just truly are that, right? Like they're that type of people. And that's the issue that I have with the show. And the characters that aren't like that, I tend to like more than the characters who are like that. Like Ian was a lot more tolerable in this season, because he did not do that a lot. He took back. He still had those moments, but he wasn't like constantly shoving it down people's face that he's the alpha. Poppy's whole like beginning episodes with her having like the sex dream with Ian, and they're like, it's all about power. It's all about power. You see him as the leader, like, and it's like, it's not talking about alpha, but that's what they're trying to portray there.
I tried laughing when I watched this season when like Ian has a dream about like banging himself.
Yeah. that was obviously the joke that was going to be told.
Yeah.
I still thought it would have been funny if like it was someone else that we've never met before, and then like you get revealed later, I guess. Honestly, you said that I probably would like this season better for Brian's character.
Or Brad. Yeah.
Brad, thank you. I don't have a tab open with all the different characters' names. I need to do that because I know each one, but I need to like remember the names, because as I'm watching it, I'm not like processing all the names. But like, yeah, Brad's character, he was more bearable this season, but he is still also like to a degree.
I think so. This is the last season where Brad's character changes a lot in the next season.
That's understandable because of how they kind of set him up in this season to be like, hey, he actually he's different now. Like you get to meet his brother. His brother's kind of like a darker end thing. But when it comes to like the character itself, I'm fine with him. I don't hate him. I don't like him. He tends to fix a lot of the problems. He's the character that is a bad person but knows he's a bad person, but he actually does good. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I did find it kind of weird that this season they decided just to make CW a straight up like problematic character. Like in the first season, he wasn't quite there. Like he would say occasional problematic things, but it was because like he didn't understand what was going on. And this season, he just started saying like bad things, and he's just like, oh, you can't say that term no more, man. And it's like, okay, so they're taking him the old man route where like times change, he can't say certain things, blah blah blah. I liked a lot of the episodes. I think there was a great character growth in most of the seasons. I don't know what they're going to do with Ian and Poppy now. And obviously they're the main characters. The fact that they chose to branch off and make a new game, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know why they went in there and they're like, we're quitting Mythic Quest, blah 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 blah. It's like, what is up with people in this show quitting before they know something's a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because you have like the two testers who quit before they were both accepted. And it's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And she's like, I don't know, I just got caught up in the moment. It's just like, you caught up. That's a red flag for me, girl. I don't know. Like, if I was her, I would be like, that's a, like, even if I like you, like, that's, I can't have you making decisions before anything. Next thing I know, you're going to invest all of our 401ks into crypto, and I'm not about that, you know? You get caught up in something? Nah, not about that life. And that same thing with them. They're like, yeah, we're going to quit Mythic Quest or whatnot. Instead of them being like, hey, we're going to look into making a new game. We're going to pitch it to the producers and everything and see if we can get funding and start working on it. And we're going to slowly start backing away from Mythic Quest. 100% reasonable. I don't know. It just... It's a whole thing, and I think the show has great talent. I think I enjoyed a lot of the episodes. Awesome. What like I do want you to speak. I don't want just me sit here just ranting about my thoughts. I want to know like how'd you think about this season in regards to other thing.
I will say the one of my favorite episodes this season is actually the part where they take like the personality test thing. Okay. And David gets like the wolf. Yeah. And he's like, I'm the wolf. And that whole episode is like making fun of people being alphas. And I thought it was so hilarious. They're like, this doesn't mean anything. I just need you to take the stupid test. Like she was like, I just want to go home. But what I liked about that episode was like we got to see like Ian like say something to Poppy that you would never expect him to say. And then he was like, hey, actually, I don't want to lose you. Like this is like I like you as like a friend. Like I need you. And like she was like, ha, you need me. And like, you know, she completely was oblivious to what he said in a way. But you know, that whole episode is I think was probably really well done. I think the serious episode was really done really well. I enjoyed that whole like it was like weird because it was like those three writers and they're trying to like get their book published or whatever.
You know what was funny about that episode is that the second it began, I clocked 100% what it was.
Yeah, it was CW. Yeah,
because the guy who played CW in his previous life marked down his like mannerisms pretty well.
Yeah, he did.
I was
great.
Yeah, I was actually like kind of shocked by it. I was like, I know exactly who this person's portraying. Like, that's solid. Wasn't a question in my mind.
Yeah, and it was so serious. And like right at the end when he's like spatting off about video games and how they're going to be like the future of storytelling, and they were just like, "The hell are you talking about? You're crazy." Like,
yeah. I do also find it funny that like storytelling, like they're like doing all that stuff, and his storytelling. Like the one thing I found interesting is whenever they were talking about his book that he wrote, they're like, it doesn't make sense. Why do they have horses that are robots if we have cars? Why do they have flesh-like backpacks if we have backpacks now? this, and this. And you know what that is, right?
Mhm.
Those are settings imperatives, right? He was writing a futuristic approach. They were only perceiving the world as what could come next. He was perceiving a like world of that never was, which is what you find a lot of times in games. Like only in video, not really only in video games, but a lot of times in video games, the like different stylizations or buildup of certain things don't make sense in the greater scheme of like our world, but makes complete sense in their world. Why do they have robot horses? Because they never made cars. They never figured out a better aerodynamic system than a horse. So of course they will replicate their machines off of horses. Or it's like why did they evolutionize into backpacks whenever we have backpacks? It's like maybe they never invented backpacks and their bodies naturally evolved into that. Like I found it so funny that they were kind of like telling him like these things don't make sense to us. And I'm just like, why are you thinking that this is a future from our world? This could be anything. And I actually felt like they were kind of like, I wouldn't say in the wrong, because obviously like he was very pedantic and kind of a jerk towards them as well. And he was also in love with Anne as well. But the biggest thing is that they were like shutting it down for being like a futuristic sci-fi, thinking that it has to be in our future. And I'm like, that's not. How can you be writers and not have that level of like, you know, I forget what you call it, like imagination, I guess, in writing itself. It was crazy to me. I also did completely call it whenever he gave the book to the one guy and he just literally got the book back, just rewritten. I was like, yeah, that was going to happen. Yeah. It was either he was going to read it and say it was trash, or he was just going to rewrite the whole thing, which he did. He rewrote the whole thing.
Yeah, he reread it. He wrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those shows where like, it I think it gets better with more play.
Yeah.
Like I think it just progresses a lot better. I don't know why I think it progresses a lot better, because I think next season is when like things start taking a turn for characters. Like the characters start developing more into like something else that they were for the last like 2 seasons. But season 2 is like, them getting out of that whole realm of like, oh, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's more of like, it's like trying to figure out like how people work or how to like solve this problem, stuff like that. Because next season has like the serious episode that they had is really, really good. Like I felt like very, very, I don't know, like I'm not gonna spoil too much, but like that episode next season, like the serious episode, is just phenomenal. I really enjoyed that episode. I think it's the best one out of all of them that I know, because I just did watch the newest season, but I forgot what that episode was really. So I don't remember the serious episode of that season, but I will say that I enjoyed every part of season 2. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought the comedy was still there. The serious episode was great, and I think that Brad's character, I really loved Brad's character like this season, just because like he was like when he was like, I'm going to jail, like I'm the one that did it, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. But he's like, no, I'm just doing it for street cred.
Yeah, like, but yep. you know what you actually do. But I think like one thing I did like is that they finally brought in the art team side of stuff, because they were just showing off the coding the whole first season, and I'm like, do these guys only think that video games only have coding? They don't have like an art team? Like they obviously have concept arts, but they don't have like model renders or things like that. And I don't think they fully understand yet, because when they have the one girl, Donna, start going into coding, she's messing with rigging, which is a type of coding, but isn't like the same thing that they're showing with that as well. Yeah. Like she's animating the whole, like the goat, and it's messing up. And it's just like, that's not how, like if there was a coding issue that she's coding incorrectly for this thing, That's not how it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't like start like
Mm.
kicking over the bucket. It's like she's rigging and she's animating the rig. She's not doing that. Like, and then you're like, we're going to put you in coding school and such a thing. It's like, she's not going to learn anything that she's trying to learn right now. Like, you got to take her to like a computer science school where she learns rigging, animation, and like modeling and whatnot. Completely different things. And I think it kind of shows when they go and handle the art team and they're just constantly like, he's like spouting off this random stuff and they have it completed already. They're like, here you go. And he's like, oh, that's amazing. You did a great job and all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, we had to work our butts off like overtime and under budget, like this, and this. And I do recognize the guy who plays the art lead, because I'm like, that's the Drunk History guy. I watched that show religiously. I want them to bring that show back. Like,
yeah. So that guy actually, like the spin-off series of this, like the side quest. That's the name of the show. He's actually in the first episode. It's about he's like in the episode about being an art director and how Ian like propels him to go insane. And that episode is really, really well done, because this is like got like an overarching story. The side quest is like just episodic episodes.
Yeah, it's just built for that single episode of that single character or whatnot.
Yeah. So it's you know, we'll probably get to that point after, like, because I don't know when the next episodes or like when it ends or whatever, because I haven't looked into it, because like this just ended, like, well, season 4 just ended, like, so like they just finished. I just watched the last episode of season 4.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. But I think I don't know. I think season 3 is probably my favorite season so far, next to the newest season. The newest season's pretty good. I think like they start really getting into the writing in season 3, like where I feel like characters change and develop into better characters, in my opinion. Some of them do. Some of them just become the same old thing. And I'm like, yep, you know, they're just going to keep them like that. And then very interesting stuff happens in season 3. A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, whenever I look at the show as it is, the only, like, Joe is the only character I hate, and I think they very much intend for the character to be hated by like my type of audience.
Oh no, I hate her. I hate that character.
But Austin, you're close to my type of audience. I'm talking about a different type of audience who has certain other views about like the younger folks, you know, like she's that type of character. And it's kind of annoying that the rest of the show has the same views, but they just don't say it the same way. That is annoying to me. Like, where you have like Poppy and Ian just complain about like the younger generations always wanting to share their emotions, and meanwhile the whole time they constantly are just there like belittling and ragging off their own emotions. So it's like, obviously I think the joke is supposed to be like they are just as bad, but they don't see it because they're so narcissistic. And I think that's the joke. I could be wrong. I don't know. The difference between them and Joe is that Joe is aggressive to people and talk bad and everything. And like there was a point where I thought they were going to have a redemption time for Joe, where she like starts working with them on the one mobile game, and they start hearing her like bad talking herself, and they're like, hey, are you okay? Like, we can figure this out type deal thing. And I'm like, oh, you're going to find out that she's so aggressive because she is like, she's dealt with issues of that for so long. Like, I completely thought that's what they were going to go with, which they kind of do with it. But then she does the double cross in the end where she's just like, oh no, I side with you instantly. And then he's like, you jumped the ship the second you saw it was sinking. Good job. I like you. And I'm like, I'm hoping that Joe improves in some way, because she's the stain on this show. And that's, I acknowledge, and I think it's intentional, that's intentional, that Joe is meant to be perceived as the least likely of them all. and someone has to do it in each show, and she's taking it upon herself. So like kudos to the actress who's doing it, because she's doing a great job, because it's making me kind of be like, gosh, I hate this character, but at the same time the show's great. Like the one character I have the most, like, I vibe for this character so much is, oh, there's two. Sue, the girl down in accounting, or the facing me, she's just so nice, so happy, and she's just trying to like exist, and she doesn't get a lot of stuff. So when she gets to go upstairs for that the test, she forces CW to go with her and give her the tour, because she's never been up there before. But the character I really vibe with is actually Carol, the HR department. Because she's the most level-headed, like, this ain't my job, stop it, why don't you all do this stuff? It's like, oh, we didn't know about it. Yeah, because you don't freaking listen, you don't do any of this stuff, you don't talk, this isn't my job. Like, I think it's so nice to have one very straight-laced and super confident person in the office, and I just feel for her dealing with those people.
Yeah,
But
she is the one that deals with a lot. Like the two characters that you talked about are the people that
the testers
handling everything. They're just
Oh,
like, I can't handle this.
yeah,
So,
it's funny, because like after seeing the art team and how like Poppy cannot talk to them to get what she wants, and then Ian can talk to them and get exactly what he wants, but then he can't do that with the coding team, but she's able to do it with the coding team. You see like where their qualities mesh and why they're good. So yeah, no, all in all, I liked the season. I thought the season was good. I liked the characters that were added. I liked the cast as well, like the newer cast who kind of jumped in. Some of them look super familiar, but I couldn't peg them. But definitely figured out exactly the art team guy instantly. I recognize him. Also, the one guy from the backstory episode, their like boss, I'm pretty sure that's the same guy who's the boss for the two testers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he looked the same. I was like, I've seen him before. And then I was like, oh, it's the same freaking show. They just reused the same guy.
Exactly.
And he did not make any appearance in this episode. So I'm like, are they just cutting him out of the show, or like, what are they doing with him? So, well, I'll see. Like, that's my next thing. I'm like, we'll see. But we got 3 more seasons at least. Got 2 more seasons. So, Austin, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, I think that I'm actually excited for the next 2 seasons that we're doing, because I think that they're actually my favorite parts of the show so far.
Okay.
So I think that you'll really like the next season and the season after, because the season after, season 4, they do a Clue episode, which is really, really good. It's funny. But I was like, man, we gotta wait a couple seasons before he gets the Clue episode. But overall, I enjoy it. Like, this show is just like a casual watch. It's nothing like mind-blowing, but it's just like, there's some great parts in it, and I enjoy the show.
I think this season did a lot better job of hitting the type of story beats and characters that I enjoy, versus last season, where I felt like I was kind of frustrated with some of the different characters being just the same character, just different flavors. So we'll see. We'll see about the next episode, if the next season, I mean, if that's going to be a big old change, because who knows?
Yeah.
They may get a bunch of new people, or it's probably just going to be the same cast, just now they're working on a different game. That's kind of my thought of what they'll do. As long as they don't do that. There was a show we watched. What show was it? Maybe we didn't watch it. It was a show where they did like, oh, it was Silicon Valley. That's exactly the show, where they like ended one of the seasons being like, we launched this, it's fantastic, it's great, yay, and like the seasons, they end on a high note, like they did it, and the first episode of the next season is just like, everything's bad, it's all crashing, and it's just like, oh, I see. So yeah, so you can't manufacture the show without a crisis, effectively. And that was a super harsh thing I said at the time. Still like the show a lot, but I was kind of like, they can't. They're always in the same like underdogs working up to build something versus being on that high ground and like continue to maintain. Kind of like think of it like Breaking Bad, you know, like we're always at the point where he's working under Gus and never the point where he's the kingpin, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Austin. Well, I think that basically covers it for this episode of Bros and Shows. I almost said for this episode of Mythic Quest. I want to thank you, Austin, for joining me on this episode. Short episode all the time. It's because it's mid-seasons and whatnot. It's all that good stuff, but still talk, still enjoy it, still like. And next week we're going to watch season 3 of Mythic Quest. Or are we taking you mentioned about possibly taking a break at one point. Do we want to, or should we wait?
I think we should just wait. Like,
just wait. Okay.
Invincible did finish up. Like they finished up Invincible, and I was like, hey, we should like finish that, you know. But the thing is, it's like we're on a roll. Let's just keep going.
Just keep moving.
The other thing, like if we finish up with this, then we do Invincible, then Daredevil will be over. Like
okay, so we can do it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good with me, Austin. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Austin, so much for joining me. Yeah. And thank you all out there so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much for tuning in